in the Dallas Mavericks 147 to 136 victory in overtime against the Houston Rockets. They had trailed by as many as 22 points. They used an explosive effort from Kyrie Irving, who finished with 48 points, scoring 25 of those in the fourth quarter and overtime. I'm going to get a closer look at how that happened, what the Mavericks did to tighten up defensively, and then also the impact that other players, Luka Doncic, PJ Washington, and obviously Dante Exom, to tie it in regulation, were able to provide. Let's get right into it. Jalen Green is going to orchestrate a double drag screening action on this possession. Jock Landale is going to be the roller, and the Mavericks switch with Maxi Kleber now guarding Jalen Green. And as the switch happens, Green's reading the low defender, PJ Washington, responsible for the weak side corner. And Green thinks he's going to have time to get the ball to the roller and give his teammate a chance to make a play in the paint. But Washington dials up a very well-timed low-man rotation and makes a play on the ball coming up with the block. And after the defensive stop, Luca finds PJ to be able to finish and transition through contact against a smaller defender, and this cuts the lead down to 8. The Rockets tried to hunt Luka Doncic by bringing his man to screen, forcing him into the action. And the Mavericks are going to use a crafty approach here. They're going to have Tim Hardaway Jr. not stick with the cutter, Reggie Bullock, on the cut-through. He's going to send a late double against Jalen Green. This is going to afford Luka the opportunity to go find a strong side offensive player to be responsible for and get out of the point of attack defensive responsibility. And this ultimately results in Jock Landale getting a stagnant catch, trying to make a play against Maxi Kleber in the post, and commits an offensive foul with the hook. This play, Kyrie Irving's going to get a screen from Tim Hardaway Jr. This forces Jalen Green to switch. And what he's going to do here, he's going to go between the legs and attack right, use contact, get low, and he's going to protect the ball against a strong side corner stunt. This gets him deep after not killing his dribble and trying to play off one. He's now able to play off two, stay patient, waiting for Green to mistime his pressure, knowing that he's got to be, really perfect and anticipating what Irving's going to try to do, given how crafty he is and how capable he is of making tough, short-range jump shots. And Irving's able to get into that baseline fadeaway as a result and makes the defense pay. Luka's going to wall up Jalen Green trying to attack him. Kyrie Irving pries the ball loose, and now Irving slams the brakes in transition, creates separation against Reggie Bullock, and hits the pull-up three. The Mavericks have some serious momentum at this point. The Mavericks continue to succeed with switching with Maxi Kleber at the 5. The Rockets are going to get into a handoff where they fake a zoom action with Van Vliet signaling being the pin-down screener, but instead he comes up to get the handoff from Jabari Smith. With Kleber accounting for Van Vliet on the drive left, Kyrie is going to stay hugged up early on Jabari Smith to disrupt any sort of roll man option here, and Van Vliet had already picked up his dribble. Irving cut him off deep on this drive while still having the assistance of Luka Doncic making the low man rotation and getting vertical, leaving his feet. There's no spray out pass option with Van Vliet being disrupted. With PJ Washington looking ready to account for the corner with him guarding 2-with-1 on the weak side, Van Vliet forces a pass to the trailing Jabari Smith, who had already been sealed off by Maxi Kleber, who uses his length to disrupt the pass and force the turnover. Kyrie's going to attack on the break, draw two defenders, miss the layup. Luka gets the putback, gets blocked, but this is going to become a successful possession. Kleber draws two, attacks, and the ball pops around, finds Kyrie in the corner, who stayed active after missing the layup to space out, and rewards the Mavs offense for that extra effort by hitting the three in the corner. Jalen Green's going to make a great basketball play here. He draws Kleber on a switch, goes between the legs twice, and now has the drive right available for him, gets deep on the drive, and has Kleber vertical, but also drew the strong side corner help to be in a position to pressure that finish attempt, which created a perfect spray out passing chance for him to get it out to a teammate, and the Rockets make the Mavs pay by making the right basketball play. The Mavs start out by featuring Kyrie in horns. He's playing off the elbow, going to receive a series of screens, effectively double drag, and draw Dillon Brooks on the switch. Now Kyrie's going to have space to attack Brooks. He's going to set him up with footwork to be able to get into a change of direction counter with the spin move, and it's going to start with that hesitation dribble with his right, going to the crossover. He's going to go between the legs. Brooks is guarding him straight up in a stance. Kyrie's going to attack left, slam on the brakes, go between the legs, forcing Brooks to have to recover. And now Kyrie has him on the ropes. He's going to try to re-engage Kyrie, and that contact with his body positioning is going to open up the spin move to his right to then get into the drive and finish. And Kyrie already has Brooks where he wants him and finishes the play off one and on the right side of the rim, using the glass on the scoop finish on his way down. The focus for the Mavs on this possession is to hunt Jalen Green by having his man Maxi Kleber screen for Luka Doncic, and the Rockets are going to dial up a late double by having Dylan Brooks disengage from Kleber to double on Luka. Luka's reading the low defender. Jabari Smith Jr. is ready to tag Kleber, and he immediately makes that pass, darting the ball like a fastball to the weak side corner. But Van Vliet, who's responsible for the weak side wing, does a great job of anticipating this and getting a hand on the ball. Luka's going to quickly get the ball to Kyrie against Fred Van Vliet and put Jalen Green in the action with Dante Exom screening for him. This draws a switch. Now Kyrie's going to play out of the hesitation, go between the legs, kind of loses his handle for a minute, and then he's going to just explode in the middle of the floor, knowing that, again, the Rockets are not going to help aggressively at the nail with Luka Doncic on the weak side wing. This is a massive luxury for Kyrie because he's able to just play to the contact, focus on getting to a spot, and getting into that short-range pull-up that he knocks down. The Mavs are playing through Kyrie Irving and horns with Derrick Jones Jr. as the other big. Luka's in the corner being face guarded, and both players involved in the horn set are going to set a screen for Kyrie. He draws the double, and this is just a disconnect. Luka doesn't come to the ball quickly enough, and it's a turnover. Luka's going to round off Fred Van Vliet's drive right, force him to take a tough scoop finish that he misses, and this results in a transition opportunity grab and go for Luka. He's going to get right into a step back three going between the legs, and Brooks tries to contest, and this is enough to force the miss. No foul call after the shot. Kyrie's going to ISO Green after drawing him on a switch. He's going to go between the legs and then do it again. And what he's going to try to do here is sell Green on the potential drive right, counter with Green opening up his body stance to give up the drive left by using another between the legs to attack downhill. The advantage is Kyrie's. The defender's going to have to work to recover this whole sequence. Irving plants his right foot, plays out of the pivot with his left foot, gets Green in the air to get into that turnaround jumper and knocks it down. Brooks is going to screen for Jalen Green to get Luka into the action, and on the pop, Green's going to get the ball to Brooks. He's going to play off a jab step with his right foot, raise up to shoot with space, and makes Luka pay. Kyrie's going to get a screen from Derrick Jones, forcing Jalen Green into the action. Rockets again are going to double Kyrie with Fred Van Vliet coming off of the cut. And Derrick Jones Jr. is going to be open as a relief option near the paint. He's going to kick it out to P.J. Washington, the weak side corner. But the Rockets did a good job of making these rotations. Now there's a defender engaging Washington on the catch. He's going to try to get into the side step three, and he misses the shot. But Jones comes up with the offensive rebound and draws contact to get to the free throw line and makes both attempts. Brooks is going to come screen for Green, and Derrick Jones Jr. is going to turn his head to see where the screen's coming from, and this creates a push crossover opportunity for Green to capitalize, and Jones is a step behind in the recovery and fouls, and Green goes to the line and makes 2 free throws. The Mavs are in the bonus on this possession, down 3 points with 3 minutes and 33 seconds left, as Irving is set to screen for Dante Exom as a ball screener, and this creates a switch. Now Irving's going to keep Green sealed, and Green's going to get too aggressive trying to jump the pass, fouls, and Irving gets to the line and makes 2 free throws. Maxi Kleber is guarding Dylan Brooks early in this possession. Brooks screens for Green, and Green's going to attack downhill going to his right with Kleber trying to recover. Green hits the brakes, goes between the legs to create that separation, and gets immediately into a step back behind the three-point line, and Kleber does his best to contest, but this is a clean look that Green just misses. The Rockets are going to double Luca on this ball screen. He gets the ball out of his hands to the short roller. Dante Exom finds Irving to attack off the catch, and he draws a foul on the pull-up and gets to the line and makes 2 free throws. There was lots like early in this defensive possession. Lucas switches onto Fred Van Vliet. They're playing out of a double. The ball finds Jalen Green out of a handoff out of the corner, and he's going to attack downhill. But this is where the play breaks down for the Mavs. Maxi Kleber helps as the low defender in the paint. Now this is Luka's job to quickly get out to the corner on the closeout. On the spray out pass, he's slow to get out, and this is an open look for Brooks to punish the Mavs defense. Kyrie's going to get a post touch on this possession after driving and passing it out. He stays near the paint area, has Fred Van Vliet on him. He's going to draw a double, gets the ball to Maxi Kleber, uses a shot fake, attacks the flyby, throws it to the weak side, extra pass to P.J. Washington, who gets a good look but misses the potential go-ahead shot. Jab step from Fred Van Vliet sells Luka Doncic, the big defender in this action, that he's going to use the screen but rejects it. And then now Luka's kind of stuck in no man's land where he doesn't stay attached to Jabari Smith Jr. And while Maxi Kleber is helping in the paint, Fred VanVleet gets to a stride stop, passes back out to Smith, and Luka still isn't in a position to make a great contest, but Smith still misses the shot. VanVleet is cross-matched onto Luka to start this possession, and this is an easy decision for the Mavericks to just play out of the post, draw a double team if it comes, play out of that. Kleba is going to flash from the weak side into the paint to get the pass from Luka. Now they're playing out of that double team. The ball finds Luka. He's going to use a shot fake, jab right into the step back, has space on the move, knocks down the shot. The Rockets are going to hunt Luka in this action. His man comes to slip out of a screen. He's going to be a relief option for VanVleet. And now P.J. Washington is going to make that switch where Luka is going to get to the weak side, account for Dillon Brooks, not have to guard dribble penetration. And Jabari Smith on the weak side wing is going to attack a closeout. Maxi Kleber does a great job of tracking him, being physical, and walling him up. But Smith still makes a great offensive play, getting to the floater and gets it to go. Kyrie's going to accept a double pass to Exom, who was flashing to the corner, and then immediately cut with Jalen Green, relaxing. And now this is a perfect advantage here for Kyrie to get into the right-hand scoop finish. Rockets again hunt Luka in a screening action by having his man, Reggie Bullock, pop. And this has to happen quicker with P.J. Washington on the weak side getting up to account for Bullock on the pop. Maxi Kleber is already in a position to protect the paint in case Jabari Smith were to cut or get a next pass and attack the closeout. And Bullock pulls the quick catch-and-shoot three with the window of opportunity to get the shot off and takes advantage by hitting the shot. With Exom screening for Kyrie, Jalen Green gets switched onto Kyrie, and this is going to result in a double from the Rockets. Kyrie immediately gets the ball out of his hands to Exom, gets it back on a handoff, and then gets it back to Exom, who attacks downhill. Exom wants to get it to Luka, but he's being face guarded by Dillon Brooks, so Exom passes it to Kleber instead, and Kleber's going to play out of a quick pick and pop with Luka after getting in the ball. Draws two, use the behind the back pass to get it to Kleber wide open, and he has a perfect look and just misses the shot. VanVleet is going to have the ball, and Reggie Bullock's going to come screen for him, and Exom has his head turned trying to watch where the screen's coming from, and VanVleet immediately attacks and draws a foul, and he ends up splitting this pair of free throws. The Mavericks are looking for a three on this possession, inbounding the ball. Luka is going to be used as a flare screener, knowing that the Rockets won't switch off of him. Kyrie has a clean look on the catch and is just not able to knock it down. On the Mavericks possession that resulted in Exom hitting a three to force overtime at the buzzer, he's going to initiate the play, quickly get into a handoff with Luka, and with him being a superstar, he's going to naturally draw two defenders. Brooks was cleared out of position on this possession, and now Exom is going to be wide open on the wing. Jabari Smith Jr. is just a little bit late, recognizing that he has to get out with the game being a three-point game at the end of regulation. And Exom makes the defense pay for that split second of indecision and knocks down the shot at the buzzer. Exom is going to initiate this possession. Both superstars are playing in horns off the elbow. Dillon Brooks is originally guarding Luka, and he's going to switch off after the ball gets into Kyrie's hands, and Exom receives a screen from Luka. Now Reggie Bullock is on Luka. Irving makes the read, gets it to Luka to attack downhill, and Dillon Brooks, instead of staying attached to Exom on the exit, is going to overload the strong side by maintaining a position to help, and Luka reads this immediately on that attack left and knows Exom's going to be wide open in that weak side corner with the corner pin-in screen from Daniel Gafford being set. And this is a good look, but Exom just misses the jumper. The Rockets scored the first points of overtime with Fred VanVleet catching Exom on a behind-the-back move and then aggressively attacking in transition, drawing a foul, and then getting to the line for those pair of free throw attempts. The Mavs are going to have Exom initiate with both superstars on the elbows out of horns, and the matchup they want to hunt is Fred VanVleet, who's guarding Kyrie. So they're going to get the ball out of Luka's hands to Kyrie with a lot of space to operate. He's going to play out of a series of jab steps, open up VanVleet left, and uses his right shoulder to play through contact, solidify the advantage, and gets into the non-restricted paint area pretty deep, gets off of 2 feet into that right-hand floater, and gets it to go. Luka's man gets brought into a screening action, and Dante Exum just fights through that contact and rounds off Fred VanVleet on his drive left. And then now VanVleet doesn't have a clean opportunity to attack the rim deep on the drive. He's going to have to get to the right side of the rim to finish, and Kleber does a great job as the low defender of providing that weak side help defense and blows up the finish attempt and gets another stop. Kyrie continues to play aggressive in transition through contact on the drive and is getting to the free throw line and makes both attempts. Fred VanVleet's going to hunt Luka Doncic by having him be brought into the action. Luka switches, and he tries to get the ball back here from Dillon Brooks to make a play, but Luka stifles him and doesn't even look at the rim. They force a three, and it's an air ball. Luka's going to get doubled on this ball screen and going to find P.J. Washington on the short roll. This is why he was involved in the action, to be a decision maker and a potential scorer on the short roll. But he's going to find Dante Exom in the weak side corner, who's going to bring the ball up, have a lot of space to operate against a smaller guard, Fred VanVleet. He's going to play out of the in-and-out dribble that he likes, use his size, and get to a finish. And again, this is just a testament to having multiple perimeter players outside of the superstars that can put the ball on the floor and make plays as relief options. There was a lot to like early in this possession. Luka switches onto Jalen Green after being brought into the action, is physical, trying to cut him off on the drive, has help from the low defender. So Green gets to a stride stop, passes it out, and VanVleet's going to get the ball at the top of the key. But the Mavericks are late to recognize who needs to get out to make this contest. If you play with Luka, this is no knock on Luka, but typically the rest of the unit's going to have to make those extra efforts. The goal is to try to minimize the workload he has during games, and Washington is going to have to make this contest quicker. It's late to recognize it, and this is enough time for Brooks to get a clean look, and he makes the defense pay. The Mavs hunt Jalen Green, having his man set a screen, forcing the switch. Now Kyrie's going to ISO him, expecting a late double to come from VanVleet, and reads this and then immediately attacks going right to get to open space. And he's going to try to play through that contact, finish at the rim, misses it, but Washington gets the rebound and draws a foul, then makes both free throws. VanVleet's going to keep it on a handoff and then try to get into this pull-up three. Luka contests with his length, and it's a miss. Kyrie gets doubled, gets the ball up to Exom in the middle of the floor, and he too quickly tries to make the pass to the weak side corner, and the Rockets jump the pass, making a great read. This creates a transition scoring opportunity for Fred VanVleet to play through contact, veer step, and finish on the left side of the rim. Kyrie's going to continue to attack Fred VanVleet. Luka Doncic is being a decoy on this possession. He's spaced off on the weak side wing beyond the 4-point line to neutralize the threat of having nail help to disrupt Kyrie attacking an ISO. So he knows he's going to have that drive right when he wants it. He goes between the legs, plays through VanVleet's contact to turn the corner. Now he's focused on making a pass fake to throw off Jabari Smith Jr.'s timing. And he's going to play through a crowd off of 2 feet, keep the ball high in his right hand, and finish underhanded with that scoop finish. Essentially float it off the glass and get it to go, despite two long wing players with a lot of athleticism trying to disrupt him. Luka hustles here, cuts off Brooks in transition, forces the miss, and the Mavericks get another defensive stop. Kyrie draws a double near half court, gets the ball up to the weak side corner. Exom attacks the closeout and gets into a stride stop, tries to pivot, finish the scoop layup, and is unable to get it to go. With P.J. Washington guarding him, Jalen Green goes between the legs early in this possession and tries to just explode going left, but Kleba is in perfect position to wall up, get vertical, and blow up the finish, and the Mavericks get another stop. And this is why having multiple superstars is so valuable. It's very challenging to double 2 players in the same possession. Luka gives it up after the first double. Kyrie's going to get doubled and immediately find Maxi Kleba on the cut. With Luka being face guarded by Dillon Brooks, this is one defender, Jalen Green, having to account for a big with the ball attacking the paint and also the weak side corner. Kleba draws the defender enough, makes the spray out pass, and then Washington makes the defense pay with a catch and shoot 3. This is why it's important to have multiple wings that can switch and make athletic plays. Jalen Green gets Derrick Jones Jr. switched onto him and tries to just explode and turn the corner, playing through contact. He's going to try to elevate off 2, thinking he has a layup on the right side of the rim, but Jones does a great job of using his length, recovering, and blocking on the trail. The goal here for the Mavericks is to waste as much shot clock as they possibly can, and the ball is going to end up finding Luka again after he gave it up, facing an initial double. Rockets try to double again, but he splits the 2 defenders and then sprays it out to a wide-open P.J. Washington in the corner, and he makes the defense pay. This essentially clinches the game for Dallas. Luka's going to make a great defensive play here to continue the momentum. He contests this Jabari Smith Jr. three-pointer and blocks it, and the Mavericks regain possession. With about 15 seconds or so left, the Mavericks have the ball, and they're just going to try to run the clock out on this possession. Exom's going to hand it off to Luka, and he's going to split a double team and just casually get in for a layup, and the Mavericks win by 11. If you watch this video all the way through, I appreciate you for doing so. If you subscribe to my channel already, I appreciate it. If you don't, it would be greatly appreciated if you would change that. And also, if you could like this video, share it, make a comment as well. It really helps show up in other people's feeds, and that helps me grow my channel, and I appreciate that. So thank you for your continued support.